Assalamu alaikum, Bakai. Welcome back to the Football Bantaba YouTube channel, the home of Gambian football. It's another Sunday. It's the Gambia Football Show. And yeah, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, as well as I am live on TikTok. So the show is not live on TikTok, but I am live on TikTok as well. So I'm here joined with Seni and Space. So the TikTok followers will not see those. You will not see Seni and Space. You will only hear me speak. So when Space and Seni are speaking, you will not hear them. So if you want to hear what the full program, you may have to go to YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook to watch. So yeah, we just live on TikTok because now TikTok I have time. So forget doing live in TikTok as well. But nonetheless, guys, Maneko Tesma is missing. Hamga, my co-host is missing today on the show. Buba Jalo Falabore as well is missing. Che Faneka di Tuki, Buba Momisi, Palona Japate, Mota Munu join. But we still have regulars, Space, Hamadi Kebe, and Seni Kanyi. Maneko sin future brevi. New Nalen gentlemen, Space, Seni, Nahangen Def. Start with Seni.
Yeah, Cham, I'm happy to be here again. My name is Space Agnon, Tamit. They are currently with us, so I'm happy to be back here again, Tamit. We look forward to giving you, more insightful details about our football. So I'm happy to be here. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, always good to have you around. Maneko bottom league B, Mr. Space, Space nuyu naa la nu mu fa demee.
Bye, Mr. Chang. Maa ngi laa fay di la nuyu bu baax di nuyu suma waa ji Seni ak képp ñoo xam ne ñu ñoo dégloo waa ñu ñoo seetaan di leen dalal na jàmm. We are here again as another Sunday. Jox leen lu neex xam nga lu neex a dégg tamit jërëjëf.
Maneko jërë Jeff. I'm having some requests on TikTok for live, but unfortunately I'm gonna decline the TikTok because we are live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So I cannot accept any live chat on TikTok. Unfortunately, I'm very sorry about that. I'm just putting the TikTok out there for people to know that we are on live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. That's where the show is going on. Actually, the TikTok is just me, the flexing. But again, today we have some interesting topics to discuss. Really interesting topics. If you see right now, the main headline in Gambia is the under-17. They are playing in the under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. Started the competition not so well. The performance was not so bad, but started it with a defeat against Senegal, and then put in a 5-star performance in their second game against Somalia, winning that 1-5-1. So we will talk about that. We talk about the under-17, and then we will look at the Football Bantaba SpaceTV Player of the Month. It's the end. We are just in the start of April, so we have to look back at March and see the best performing players both locally and at professional level. So we will discuss about those the Player of the Month. I think the winners have been revealed. Me and Space will give you thoughts on those on the winners and how the process went. And of course, there has been another headline going on right now: the stadium, the Independent Stadium. We cannot we keep crying about the stadium, and then the more we cry, the more we see more sad things about the city. We learn more sad things about the stadium. So we will talk about that as well. FIFA also, revealed their latest FIFA ranking after the international break, and Gambia, of course, they are a FIFA team, so they are among the FIFA teams. So their ranking will always affected when FIFA announced the ranking. So we will look at that ranking and what does that mean to Gambian football going forward. And finally, the league. The GFF leagues Space is here, so we will touch on that one as well. So if you are watching us on any of these platforms, guys, please make sure you are subscribed to the Jollof Football Bantaba YouTube channel, and if you enjoy the show, please give it a like. And of course, guys, if you have any comments, you can put them out there, and then we always try to react to the comments that you put out there. So without wasting too much time, I'm talking too much. Let's get right into it. And I think we will start today with the SpaceTV Jollof Football Bantaba Player of the Month. I will just bring on the nominees, the players that we nominated, where these players: Dauda Dabo, Alaji Wali, Babukar Ture, Alaji Mbalo, and Yankuba Sise. And then we ask you guys out there to vote and then we make the decision, and the decision has been made. So I will pass over to Space to tell us about the player of the month for the month of March. Space, go ahead.
Mr. Chama, yeah, Mangala new again the new season again for the second time. Yeah, like I said, it's always tough for select players in the GFF division. They could nominate them like nominate 5 players out of 100 players. The place league be. It's tough, especially gathering starts up. It's one of the main problems I'm seeing Gambian football fee. But again, these are the lucky 5 players we select my last month my Daura Dabo of Fortune. Recently they picked the form and we have on a slow start Unjige Wale down to Fortune but again last month he had a very good month scoring 3 goals in 4 matches. Doing good, helping Fortune and win consecutive matches in the league. And again, Alaji Wale since his return took you on Munyawat, so Miguel Bank in goals for Hawks. We've seen him score 3 goals in 3 consecutive matches last month. Japa and Hawks posted up to the table. Yeah.
Yes, Space. Yeah, those 5 players, and then Alaji Wale ended up being the winner. Can you tell us more about Alaji Wale's match?
Yeah, Alajuwale, like I said, he is one of the best strikers in League Bifini. We've seen what he did last month with Hawks in the second division, scoring 18 league goals, with 4 or 5 assists. Yeah. Coming into the second division, fourth division with his team again, Hawks. He gives them continue form. Took you on after Bunyawat. They wouldn't get banging goals. Against the last month, scored 3 goals in 3 consecutive matches. He's one of the strikers in the league. Because I want to see him again in the Chan team. Because the later new join Chan team after Mujon Koyobu. So like I said, goal scorer. He's a good centre forward. Munna hold up play bisikaw na dole they create space. The eye for goal. Could score 18 league goal last season. Again, time continue with that form in the fourth division. He's an amazing striker. To be honest, he's a fine player. And congratulations to him. And hard luck to the other players that were nominated. That doesn't mean deserve or welcome. You overlook them now. Like I said, man personally, man nobody vote. So followers in you vote at some of the ñu ko set pour gay wax sen idea gi so buñ ko boole yépp da gis Alaji Wale is the winner and congratulations to Alaji Wale once again.
Yeah, congratulations to Alaji Wale, a top striker. I think he was actually I know he was in the under 20s. Like you say, it was like it was a question that people would have asked. Yes, Alaji Wale in the under 20s or in the Chan team in the last time, but it's good that you clarified that in the but of course, Chan team you were converged very soon. I think start quite imminently. So we would like to see him there. He has had a very good season. I think he's up there when it comes to the leading goal scorer so far this season, right? In the first space.
Yeah, he is having a good season. So far, he's got six goals. The number of games you play, dapat new. Come look away. First few games he fake coffee. Dapat take one. So boom new still mupige from by second division the banging goals. Yeah, he is a fine striker like I was saying earlier on. The Bukanako gets again in the Chan team. Not we soon striker if they're not that good, but again soon 2 strikers may Musa this guy Ibrahim Gay and Absteni. They are fine strikers, but okay at having Alaji Wale and in that mix also with help including Daura Dabo. So I think that could be the next season again other players who have lose in form players are picking in form. So maybe the next like 1 or 2 or 3 players boiled City squad again pushing game against Algeria. Like I said, players who have the Johnson clubs in the second round and they are good and amazing players. If they pick form, fit, they will really help us. Yeah. But like I said, Alajuwale, he's a fine player and he's fine side.
He's a fine player, definitely. Seni, I'm sure that you might have come across him as a Biko, you same team, because of the encounter against Hawks, and also on the under 20 coming this World Cup, when he was leading the line when the Gambia was the under 20 WAFU team. What can you add on about Alaji Wali, the Jollof Football Bench about SpaceTV match player of the month in the GFF?
Yeah, he has been having a good season because I remember Bungam, when he had the opportunity to, come back to the country, never been by Hawks Cup. He has been contributing a lot to, the good season of Hawks as well. So I can remember him in the under 20 WAF competition, So only last season, when Hawks were in the second division, he really did well. So honestly, Limom can, could help up in terms of hope as well because I can equally say that Space TV, the Jollof team as well. Lee is a great thing because at the end of the day, they're not that boys time, have the opportunity to give them, have the opportunity to give all what they have as well. So for me, Mango congratulate, the one he just has to keep going because at the end of the day, he's going to benefit Gambia, um, you know, I can equally say, this is not just a win for Hawks, but Lee is a win for Gambia, considering the Chan qualifiers is also coming up again. So I believe the timing is perfect.
The timing is perfect, like you say, and hopefully we will get goals this time from them. And then the space. Any other thing to add? So, well, you move on to the foreign-based players. On that, I think like
Yeah,
exhausting
no,
ideas. Yeah, thoughts.
yeah, for now, Almora wa yepo si mo wana kwa sima wa hek dama bayon. Yeah, maybe we can move on to also another topic.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, as you see, the player of the month has not been posted on the social media yet, but immediately when we finish here, Space TV will publish it, and then hopefully, in the not so distant future, will deliver the award to Alaji Wali, in his training or maybe in one of his games because he's usually going there. So congratulations once again to Alaji Wali of Hawks. He's the second Hawks player this season to win the award after and Nani Abdurrahman Job. So congratulations to the Hawks team. They have been a surprise in the GFF League. I would say that because I think at the start of the season it was a team that people were not so much sure about where we're gonna land, and I think they have started very well in the league. So let's see how the things continue in the GFF first division and of course in the other leagues. But now we move on to foreign-based player, the professional player of the month, Yellow Football Bantaba, and uh, like similar to the local one, we also make five nominees. Four nominees rather. Instead of that is five, we make four nominees. And it was Ablai Diallo, Javano, Yakuba Minte, Musa Baro, and Mahmoud Bajo. These four players were the nominees for the player of the month. And if you look at the months they have, Ablai Diallo, I think he was the only one missing for the Gambia during the match international break due to injury. But nonetheless, he did still have a very good month with his club. They won all four games, and then he was involved in a couple of coach community as well. Played a couple of games for the Gambia and played four for Brighton, scored two goals in six games. Sabaro scored five in seven for club and country, including in the quarterfinals of the AFC Champions League 2. And Mahmoud Bajo, he was really, really good when he came for the international break with the Gambia. Even got himself a man of the match against Ivory Coast, and for club he was unbeaten during the month, won two games and then won. So these were the four nominees, and as we always do, guys, like it's exclusively voted by the followers of Yellow Football Bantaba and all other platforms that share the player of the month. And after counting all the votes from all our social media platforms and the and shares, um, the player who came out on top was Musa Bado. And I think it was no surprise. It was no surprise that he came out on top. I think this is the third time in the last 4 months that he's win the award. Five goals he scored, like I say. In 7 matches, he only started five of those 7 games. So it was 5 goals in 5 starts, which is really, really good. And then for those two wonderful goals, one for his club and then the one he scored for the Gambia. One space will describe as the best goal he has ever scored. He has ever seen Gambia score. So let me rephrase that. Not we have ever scored, but he has seen Gambia score. Um, yeah, Mr. Barrow is the Jollof Football Bantama Player of the Month, and like I said, no surprise. I think he voted for himself this time. Usually he is in the votes, and he voted for himself, which tells you how confident he was. And of course, Nyagomite was also one of the nominees, and he also votes every single month. He votes. He votes every. And this was the first one that he did not vote for himself. He voted for Musa Baro, which tells you, like, he's been the best player for Gambia during the month of March. So, Sin, let me start with you on this one. Musa Baro, player of the month for March. I know people were a little bit disappointed, especially after he missed that penalty, in the game against Kenya, and then after that the follow-up performance against Ivory Coast. But overall, during the month, I think he was really remarkable for both club and country.
Yeah, he has been good really because honestly, man, I believe that he's dubbed the starman for the Scorpion. So I believe the Gambia needs him more. We need this kind of displays from him because he's giving the number 10 shot, and he has a lot of tasks to do as well. So honestly, Suneke, he will continue with this one or with this form. Honestly, Gambia did not benefit a lot. The man, I believe that he still has years to play in Europe again because he has all what it takes. Fine, the Saudi League is going, but again, if we have him in Europe, Lul, that's going to help us as well. So for me, I think he deserves it, and I believe that so continue with with this one. Honestly, Gambia will benefit.
Gambia will benefit definitely. Space, let me go to you. Musa, player of the month. What's your thought?
Yeah, Cham, with Musa, but like Sini said, ako by past 3, 4, 5 years, Musa has been one of our best players in the national team. Like si tibi si national team mga post mga banging goals and assists. So we've seen him also recently scoring for both club and country. Especially a goal score against Kenya, most in last qualifiers. Bini I've never seen that goal in national team by Gambia. Yeah, he deserves it. I think, and it's good. Moving ko. He's a fine player. Come to say the way mantam move to Saudi at that age. I was a little bit surprised, but okay, again, more hamlamota move Saudi time. So I still believe that I'm not quality for play Europe top 5 league. So, but again, congratulate si Jollof Football Banta play of the month bung wini di hard local yung computer mo yung minti bayo and apply. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and Sawaji, I think if you say something, score club and country. If you look at the goals, he has 12 goals for his club in the league already, and they have scored 29 goals. So it's like more than 40% of the goals they have scored in other club. Simon Ladejoge. And then similar to for the Gambia too, since we Johnny Newey as national team head coach, he's up there in terms of goals, in terms of he's the most he scored the most goals, scored the most assists. Like you say, he took up that mantle of being the talisman for the team, and he took it very well, I believe. Yeah, congratulations to him for winning the player of the month for March. And yeah, now we can move on to the spicy one, which is the Gambia under 17. Let's move on to the kids. Let's move on to the baby scorpions. Sini, your baby scorpions. But I know this one you like it too much. The under 17, the youth football thing. Is something that you really value. So I'm sure that you are following the competition very keenly. And how do you assess this competition so far for the Gambia?
Chama, honestly, there is talent, Lulu, Gisnenko, and not just the Gambian team, but solely the teams, New there in the competition. And that is talent, So, man, I believe in at least an opportunity for us to, reflect on the things we need to do because Lee has to be, We need to have a system in place, but that these boys will have the opportunity to move on to the under 20, under 23, and then to the national team. Fine, come the importance when they may win trophy or something, but I believe the main thing is to transit, to the under 20. How many these boys, let's say 2034, the 2038, World Cup, they will go out to represent Gambia, because I believe that this has to be the target. Fanumako earlier, twice when win this competition. But again, we have to understand this is an opportunity for the boys to go to develop as well. And time it honestly, soon they can qualify into the World Cup, but didn't help us well, because the last time you qualify to the to the competition was in 2009 in Nigeria. So I believe when qualify what in 2025 or 2026 did not help top, because did not give this opportunity, or did not give these boys the opportunity to sign contracts, because this is where Zico, Usman, Jalafin, and then spend them Europe. So I believe in the league, did not contribute a lot to to the development of our game. So honestly, I'm quite impressed that the last game, both and Goa win, or even if Sumala may point, will be enough to qualify to the World Cup. So I believe that has to be the target.
That has to be the target. Yeah, and we are within whiskers of qualifying for the World Cup, definitely for this one. Now I believe even though it might not be secure, if you don't lose the next game, we are likely to be in the World Cup. So we just don't have to lose the game against Tunisia, which will mean we qualify for the next round as well as the World Cup. But Special, like, how would you assess the performance so far from the first game, the defeat against Senegal? No, si bari won nañu ñëpp man complain na be bu gade, then you give you won a very good performance against Somalia. How will you assess the performance of these young players?
Yeah, Chama, to be honest, man, doubt about the players and the talent they have. After my watching game against Senegal, actually last game against Somalia, yeah, we have a very good squad. Talented players. Maa ngi dégg ñu bari ñu naan suñu game bi Somalia was a test. But again, nga gis okay, boy, football bu ngay play against Somalia, goal su ngay score ak hunger bu ngay wone si game boobu noonu moo laa wone comme ñii mun nañ ko te pare mun nañoo play any team boo xam ne comme you are up there, we can compete. Suñu game bi Sénégal soo ko baaxee like I was saying in the space mooy we have very good chances pour win Sénégal. ñoo na upper chances sax ma génn ak shot on target. But unfortunately, ñu ñëw ñàkk si game boobu mooy that free kick goal. So Gambia is full of talent, Chama. Gambia dafa am talent, but okay, suñ talent bi mooy that they difficult pour ñu mun ko manage like okay ñu dee manage, because bro man okay we've seen Senegal pass years yëpp gaa ñoo dominate in catégorie bu nekk, but again Senegal man gaa yi ëpp ñu talent. Because pass years yëpp Sénégal léegi every time dañoo ñëw Gambia jël suñu place yi yóbbu ko jël Gambia suñu place yi fi yóbbu la si ligue bi te Sénégal ñooñu ëpp. Sénégal ñu ngi am ay almost ay 18 daaw ma 19 million population, wala Gambia duñu demee waaye amoon ci mu leen ba correct sax suñ ko àggasee dina comme bu passé nii la. So xam nga seetal nag loolu nag dëkk boo xam moo ñu ëpp bu baax muy ñëw fii di jël suñu place di yóbbu. So Gambia is full of talent te on that comme affaire youth catégorie yi nii ñun ñu rang gën a compete ñu gën a baale Sénégal. Boo resal ñu gis gaa ñu ngi dominé lu tax loolu noonu gaa dañ dee delluwaat tegaat yëpp si yoon gaa mun na ñëw aaga fu ñu aaga di tey. So ñun tam I think nag mun nañoo defaat loolu noonu ñu mun a amaat luñ daan def mooy suñ previous order 70 bi mooy that batch in 2005 ak 2007. So si gàttal daal we still have a chance and man naa like I said I believe in the boys that comme mun nañoo qualify si World Cup bi against Tunisia suñu wanee lu ñu wone against Somalia dem player gars yi comme buñ ragal xam nga rek nañ jooy yëpp ñeme teg boobu si suuf ñu attaque gars ko weekend because am nañ ay benn talent si team yoo xam ne comme mun nañ ñoo yóbbu. So si gàttal daal I wish them all the best of luck suñu game bi at Tunisia tomorrow.
Yeah, the game is tomorrow against Tunisia, which will be a very important game for us. So Tunisia, of course, they are top of the group right now with 4 points. They drew their second game against Senegal after winning 3-0 against Somalia. Senegal, 4 points as well, but they only scored one goal. That's why they are second, and then Gambia had 3 points. So if we avoid the defeat, of course, if we avoid the defeat, it will mean we finish third probably, because I will expect Senegal to win, Somalia at least get a
course.
draw. Yeah. So if we avoid a defeat, we finish that. But third is enough to qualify in most cases. It's not 100% guaranteed because there are 6 groups, and then those 6 groups, 4 of those 6 groups, the third position will qualify. But because of the number of goals we scored against Somalia, I believe if we have 4 points, and considering how the other groups have already panned out, it should be enough to qualify. But of course, you don't go with those kind of mentality. We will make a but of course, could be, I'm sure the father no try to set up team, define the way, guiding. I mean, a very good results in that one. But saying Yang mentioned on something very important, and this is something Lumaneko did discuss recently. Setup. This is an annual thing now. And we need to start having a structure. We need to start having a proper foundation on how to approach this. Not just waiting for it to arise and then we start bringing players together. And then, to do that, I believe we just have to look next door. We just have to look next door. What are Senegal doing? We have to do it. Space mentioned now another thing. Guy open new talent. Ku sit on 2 games, ku sit on first game with Senegal, you will agree on that day, the players that Senegal put out there and the players Gambia put out there, in terms of raw talent, in terms of individual brilliances, nobody will tell you that Senegal were better than Gambia. Nobody will tell you that. But what will tell you that? Oh, they were more organized, had a more collective, they had a better chemistry, they have a better understanding of each other. These are the things people were saying. And they were a better coach and stuff like that. Those were the things that people were saying. And again, I will keep repeating this. I've said it that day, and then I'm going to say it again today. 16 players from that Senegal team, 23-man squad they sent. 16 of the 23 came from 3 academies, just 3 academies. Jambar had 7. Generation Food had 5, that is 12. So just Jambar and Generation Food had more than 50% of the players because these are the 2 elite academies in the country. So they take the best players from these elite academies, bring them together, and then they go to the competition. That's what they do every single time. And then I think the other one was Secretary or something like that. They had 4 players, which make it 16 from these 3. And then in turn, you look at Gambia, 10 players. What they wrote was, he's from this school, he's from that school, which, so if you talk it like that, if I say it like that, it feels I'm criticizing the young players. They are taking players from schools and stuff like that. I love that because they are young players. You look at their faces, Gambia we have evolved from that time where we would bring old players into the squad. We have evolved from that situation. We are bringing young players, but where are we picking them from? Are we trying to say that the schools are who train these players to be footballers? That is not the case. The schools are there to educate these young players, and then they have an academy they have to go through. So if we have these proper setups in the Gambia, it makes it very easy. And we know, like you say, opportunity is coming every single year now. So we have to be ready for that. Look at the team. 4 players came from, let's say, 4 players. Out of 4 players, only out of the 23-man squad, only 4 players, you have 2 from Gambinos, 2 from Isona Sports. Only these 2 players can say, okay, I have a teammate in this squad. Only 2 players, only 4 players can say that, which is wrong. Senegal, the whole squad, except 3 players or something, will say, kii man ak moom ñoo bokk academy, kële man ak moom ñoo nekk di def lii nii, wala kii ak kii man ak moom ñoo bokk lifin. That connection, because of they are gonna build it and bring it to the squad. That is how we lost that game against Senegal. We have to learn from Senegal to do those things. Let's put all the complex we have with them. Let's put everything aside and know they are doing a good thing. They are doing a wonderful thing in their country. This is our time to joke them Senegal. What are you guys doing? You'll janga from them and then you will take swing football because you guys are at this moment in time. That is where they are ahead of us and we need to catch up on that. So Manlola Bugona Yoka Fofu Nunu. Yeah. But yeah, tomorrow game it will be massive if we win it, and then hamga suñ ko winee gaay yëpp dinañ gëna ci nak di ciow nak celebrate ñëpp Gambia dem nañ li fi nak yu noonu hamga. It's like we always do, and then ñu demaat ñu toogaat jàppaat suñ loxo yi loolu rek la ñoo bañ ñuy def. But yeah, xale yi moom wax dëgg neex yàlla gis naa fa ay very very talented players, those kids coming from Gambinos, they are really really good. He's Soxna Sports, you know, ak ndoo yu jógee out sax xam nga ndoo yu jógee out, they are very good. Wala first game bi we are complaining about the pressure on the captain, you know, Aliou Dramé and all that, but look at what he did in the second game. He put in, you know, he has what a world-class performance from him, and you know, he put his name out there. You know, right now, tournament if I get you around, like now people understand why he's coming from Barcelona. You know, that kind of feeling, people get it, leading the team by example. You know, of course, I still don't like the fact name Momlen Johan captain from the initial. I don't like it because I'm feeling a little of Johan Preso, you know, and that affected his performance on the first day. But I think he took to it very well as a player. He took to it very well, that responsibility. He led the team by example in the second game. It's not just the goals he scored, but the way he was, you know, working hard, covering grounds and doing the things, like making football look easier than the other players on the pitch was absolutely wonderful. Yeah. But anything to add on Lumalon? What? Mbele. Go ahead, Space.
Yang na walu important about Senegal okay, and players ñu jëlé ci academy moy ñom Jabba ñom Generation Foot again ñun am nañ fi academy yu baax okay yo xamne comme pour wala dëgg ben moy excellence football academy is a very good academy not only Gambinos okay because okay Gambinos okay send structure, setup, it's good, it's standard. Okay, some of these academy that I mentioned, my excellent academy, they may not have the facilities of Gambinos, but talent-wise, so for them, they get the community. Talent buba. Even that player, my kujiga is on Nekasi he's from Excellent Football Academy. Let join Isona Football Academy. My number 6B. He's from Excellent. They are very good talented players in the academy. Again, Sibek FA. They are very, very, very good talented players. Gambia come what they get to academy. You organize more of this academy tournament. Picks on the 17 from there. So Lola gonna emphasize you get to academy. You organize academy tournament, a school tournament. That's no dimbala because for you daily work. Si youth football mo mun ñoo dimbal ñu defal grassroots bi suñ football mun a dem wa Sénégal comme ko waye lu bari loolu la ga dem man waxtaan na ak benn Sénégal pour lu ma waye du nekk comme ay lam dama waxama bu ne ma ne Afrique yëpp Gambia moo fi ëpp talent nii la ma ko waye and that's the fact moo tax ni ngay ñëw Sénégal Gambia fii di jël suñ place despite comme ñoom wala Sénégal ñaata million ñu nekk Sénégal gaa ngee ñëw Gambia di jël suñ place ñu di leen naturalize loolu di fa play ak yooyu so moo laa wone dafa am lu gaay gis Gambia waaye ñun nekkoon di def lu gaay nekay def léegi pour mun a succeed in football foog ñu jëma try delluwaat bum si boy ba focus on the you am suñ academy am develop suñ youth yi gaay mun a am lu bari in the future man loolu laa bona yokka rek.
I absolutely agree with you, Space, on that. Academy dañu war a dooleel the more academies we have the better. Honestly. And there are some good ones there, but they complain they don't have facilities and stuff like that. So still did have league, you know, then what a dollar, then what a key empower because at the end of the day we are building for the country. This is what football development is about. Making sure that you know the legacy within this, the arena, they are getting the better services, they are getting better facilities, and maybe they don't have the capacity to do it by themselves, but somebody can empower them. Somebody, you know. Senegal no like you know Senegal very well. You stayed in Senegal, you lived in Senegal for a very long time. You medical so it's a half because you don't like it like it. So from your perspective, what are they doing? What can we learn from them?
Okay, Chama, I'm gonna take on down that Gambia qualifies to the AFCON, etc. But this is the foundation. When we have this place right, naturally, we're going to have a better structure up. Senegal Davis. I can remember they actually started this in 2015. Where I can remember they hosted the under 20. Then this is the foundation, this is the base. Motor League they don't struggle to have younger players. They play in the national team because that's the easy transition. And the last time I spoke about having a football DNA, because when you have a football DNA, under 17 they play, under 20, under 23 national team. They will have a similar way of playing. They did not help them with these boys in City. They wouldn't struggle. So I believe in time, these are the things we need to do. We need to have a football day in Bohana that yes, this is how Gambia should play from the under 17 to the national team. We shouldn't think the success will not happen there. This has to be a long-term plan. But then call a draw. Let's say next 10, 15, 20 years, Gambian football, this is where we want to be. But if we rush it, then struggle. So when I believe this is what we need to do. We shouldn't rush it. Fine, it's good to qualify to this under 17 AFCONs. And time it by extension but the target has to be you groom these boys, so that next 10, 15 years we'll have a better national team.
So so we have to take our time, plan it, even if I can 15 like 20 years just have a goal somewhere that at this point in time we have to reach this level, and then you work towards that goal rather than always trying to start again. But hopefully the kids, they will make us proud. They will make themselves proud in this game against Tunisia, and then qualify for the World Cup. They can be content and celebrate. Hanga Gambia mo nañ bëgg win. Saka dañ bëgg World Cup say competition if we go there, we are very excited, and that is loolu la ñoo ñaan moom xam nga. We want to qualify every single time, but at the same time we don't have to forget what we have to do because we're qualifying. And then I think really most of the time. So I mean these kind of successes, for example, qualifying an AFCON, for example, qualifying a World Cup under 17, you have done you have completed the football, like a football workbook. Understand? There is a lot of things you want to do. There is a lot of gaps you want to fill to football. And I think the talent is already there for us to tap into. So talent will never be our problem. Talent will never be our problem, but we have to put the structures in place to help this talent to reach the full scale of their potential. That is what we want, and that is what Senegal are doing right now. Yeah. So tomorrow is the final game, there, and I'm looking forward to that one as well. Space development lost Nenko, but me and you we can move on. The latest FIFA ranking. This in the Gambia female team, they had of course they had those 2 wins against Niger in the qualifiers for the AFCON, and then the male team they played Ivory Coast and Kenya, lost 1 and then drew 1. The female team had 3 positions rise in rank. They were in 126 and they are now 123. So congratulations to them. But the male team they had a drop in rank because of the defeat and the draw. Which means now we are 126 from 125. So yeah, not a big drop, but we are still in a critical position in the ranking, because if you look at the Gambia ranking in the CAF context, just looking at CAF alone, Gambia is ranked 36, which is not far off the 40. And then with some good performance from other countries, we might see ourselves get into the 40s and stuff like that. And as we know, in Africa, there's usually AFCON qualifiers. There's usually a preliminary round. There is then the competition qualifiers. And I think I mentioned that in the past, that in the last 2 AFCONs we qualified for 2021 and 2023. We started from the preliminary rounds, which meant we were in the bottom 8 countries in the continent. And if we get back to that position, we are likely to be in another preliminary round, which also will add 2 competitive games we have to play. So 1 drop in rank is not major, but if you continue to have 1 drop, 2 drops here, you might find yourself back into the position that you were in. Yeah, Gambia 126 FIFA ranking. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Chama, come on, like that's very important to me, Hello?
Yeah, Maladiga.
Yeah, okay. No matter I'm gonna come soon. They may new games it didn't help it because June you am qualifiers. So I believe that's very important to me, we have these test games time, because once we have that new win games, it didn't help to up. So I'm not believing that this is what we need to do. Well, we understand the realities of our country, but again, so I made these test games time didn't help to ranking, and then the more when we have our stadium back, they're important because home games are important. and I believe load tamit has really you know contributed to why you know you know Gambia's ranking is dropping. So I believe load a very important role.
No, it is really really important. Mention nga stadium B. Yeah, that is the state of the FIFA ranking. Just to add something there. The actual numbers. There are 54 teams in Africa, and 48 teams play the African Cup of Nations qualifiers. 48. So, um, the bottom 12 teams in the continent, which will be from 43rd to 54th, that is the 12 bottom teams in Africa. Those teams will play the preliminary rounds, and then the 6 winners will join the 42 teams to make it 48 teams. And then we usually have 4 groups of 4, 8, like 8 groups of 4. No, it's more than that. 48 divided by 4, 12 groups of 4, and then those 12 groups, first and second, will qualify for the AFCON. So we don't want to go back to the preliminary round. So we need to improve on our FIFA ranking. That's why it was so disheartening for Gambia to drop that point against Kenya, because that win would have made a massive boost in the FIFA ranking of the country. But yeah, that is it on the FIFA ranking. And then we move on to the other topic. This is a very interesting topic. I'm very disappointed. I will start by saying I'm very disappointed that journalists are not picking up this one like very seriously. That is the stadium. I don't know that then Sona, well, under 17, Monu, Sona, Momlen live in Nakalata, the Momlen focus right now. But the information that was revealed about the Independence Stadium, which not many knew about it, was about the constructor like the contractor or the construction company who constructed the Independence Stadium was the Chinese company. I think people knew it was from China, but I don't think people knew that that company was still in the Gambia. Like the masses did not know that. I did not know that until a couple of weeks ago when Tomong Sedi went to coffee time with Peter Gomez, and Peter he made that suggestion that if the UDP government, politics. I'm not a political person, but the substance of that discussion is what is important to me. That is, if they were in charge, they can renovate the stadium for free, because the stadium was constructed by the Chinese in the first place. And given that the Chinese constructed the Independence Stadium, the Chinese could have been in a position to renovate the stadium. And then, on top of that, 5 days after that, we saw that Senegal have completed the renovation of 4 stadiums. We knew they had some renovation going on, but we did not know who was doing it. Maybe we did not find out about it, but we realized it was the same company that built the Independence Stadium of the Gambia. And it's the same company that is located in the Gambia, renovating 4 stadiums in Senegal, including one of them they built. That is the Stadium Léopold Sédar Senghor, the biggest one in Senegal. They renovated it from 2022 to 2025, 3 years span. They have renovated 4 stadiums, and all 4 stadiums passed approval in Senegal. And we are here spending 200 million plus on the renovation of our stadium, giving it contracts to our own companies in the Gambia. So, like, I don't know why the media, like, they are not picking up on this story and then try to get to the root of it, because this is very, very important. But if we let it slide, that's why I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that the media did not get that, did not do that. But anyways, that is the state of our stadium. We are still waiting. We have spent a lot of money, and we don't know when we're gonna play in the stadium. Like, read the story, so you don't need to do Lancy. That's why I had to break it down, every single thing, before I put it out there. And then people, they're not using it, so I'm disappointed. But what's your thought? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, come I believe in that. When we know these things, we'll be able to give better thoughts or opinions. You understand? And honestly, the stadium, the renovation has been going on and on. And honestly, come earlier, soon play home didn't help a lot. And sadly, we're still not playing at home. And now, it's very important that we, dream big. We're saying that Senegal, they've completed theirs, and hopefully, I may 1 or 2. we can even co-host AFCON. So I believe these are things we need to put into context because, it's disappointing though. It's disappointing, but I just hope that we'll have more information about these, and then we have a better stance. So yeah.
Yeah, we need answers. We need answers, and the answers has to come from the ones who were entrusted to, do the renovation of the stadium, to give the contracts to companies. That needs to be audited. That how they get to that, because everybody is telling you that okay, the contract was given to a friend of the president. Like everybody's saying that, and if you go guy over here, so la ñëpp tufle nga toy de. Su fekkee ñëpp tufli ne la, su yàggee di nga toy. So it is what it is. I'm very disappointed that the journalists and then, journalists you have this affiliate over Itel, they are not picking on this and then trying to push to question these things. Maybe the AFCON Monica are the main focus right now, but it's something that we need to. Let's wait. Yeah, I'm still waiting, but I'm disappointed at this moment in time. It's not something Lord Hamilton can push that. Wow. So when journalism might declare. Nah, it's what I said. Now the work guy. Do I go by? Yeah. But look, space mom them and you large league with Tutti, but we can talk a little bit about some foreign-based players. Mangis Kuma Binal, Ajigu Muma Binal, Adam Aboyang Skona. I saw the notification coming on my phone as well. So yeah, mom, he's finally arrived. Lola. First goal sometimes is harder to come, but once the first goal come, the second one, the third one, they gonna follow very, very, very easily. Yeah. It's been a good week, Tamit. Good weekend for Gambian players. There have been goals scored by many Gambian players. And let me just go through. I have my notes here. I think Badamosi yesterday, he also scored. He was also on a drought until recently when he scored. So, sometimes goals small make confidence. Abu Kante in France, he also scored. Pa Usman Gai in Manila, that is Philippines. Ibrahim Adabo scored a good goal. Yeah, Guy BI. I go Momodu Bojang, Modam Skona, a winning goal. Mahdi Yankuba Minte got an assist and Yusufa Sanyang. Ibrahim Ajaju, Stek, Ibu Ture, Moses Jaju, and Musa Dibaga, they all got a clean sheet. It's been a good weekend for Gambian players across the board. And it didn't label against that competition be high. It's got to make it hard for the coach to, select his squad at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And Tamit, we've seen that you have more of these young players. This never indicate the future of our football is bright because solely these boys are 20, 21, 22. So in the next 10, 15 years, Gambian football did not benefit from these boys. And Tamit, now it's a good thing that the competition is getting stiffer because I believe that this is what the coach wants. Because I don't know that you need the best. So since we have this, I believe that they're not important job. And honestly, what the boys need to do is to just keep doing their best, and then to make a second chance in then the coach will give them a shot.
Yeah, definitely. Let's check one or two comments, and then sort of manager we can wrap up. Simon, good morning. Basiru, good morning. Man mangi night mom. Man mangi almost midnight, right? Already midnight actually. So coach should help Susu. Susu missed a few chances that day, but hopefully he will bounce back. That kid, he's a good player. He had a good wafu. So let's hope that he will bounce back. I halelen hamga. Save this kind of too much living. Wow. Yeah.
We've seen that the under-17 captain has not been playing, and people are asking questions. What's happening?
I can answer the question. It's been a mess. The captaincy, it's been a mess. I already spoke about it, I think, on one of the lives I did during the week. But what actually happened is, if you go to this CAF official website, his name is not in the list. And if his name is not in the list, it's mean because there is a requirement you need to fulfill before the start of a tournament. You have to pass your MRI before you play in this competition. So if his name was in the list and he's still training with the team, then the only answer is he failed the MRI. And I think the coach did mention that he failed the MRI. The coach was asked, that question was asked to the coach, and he said he failed the MRI. But that is not the important thing here. The thing is, according to sources, according to what we had, the coach knew before he left the Gambia that the risk of this kid missing this tournament because of MRI was very high, because they had done their MRIs before they went to the competition. The coach even said that he confirmed all the MRI, like they did all their confirmation, and then they went to the competition. So the fact that he went with the player, despite knowing that, that is something that we need to get to the bottom of, as far as the coach is concerned. I know people are trying to say, okay, let's just ignore that aspect because of we are in the middle of the tournament, and then let's safeguard the image of the kid. But the problem here is not the kid. The problem is not the kid. The problem is the one who make the decision that the kid can go. That is where the problem is. So there is no pressure on the kid. His life will go on. He has his agent. His life will go on. But the fact that he went to the competition, and then we knew that he could have been in a position to fail the MRI, that is something that should not happen. And why did the coach let that happen? I think that is what we need to know from the coach. Why? You knew. That is how I would frame it. I would say, like, according to what we know, you knew that the likelihood of him failing the MRI was high. Why did you risk it? Yeah. And then he can answer that question. The coach can answer that. But it was very wrong of him to make that, because at the end of the day, he's the same coach who will tell you, Seni, or he will tell the Gambian people, these are just kids. The results are not important. It's all about their development. So, like, if that was the case, we all know that the captain was a very good player. He could help the team progress. I was very excited about him. I saw him in the under 20. I even talk about, okay, this kid can go all the way to the national team squad. But at the end of the day, misplaced priorities. Again, we are thinking, okay, if we miss this player, we cannot win the games. If you have that perception, we don't have a leader on the team. If you have that perception, then you are not thinking about the kids. You are thinking about the results. And that is why it is a disappointing thing to see the coach make that decision on the player. But we need to find out from the coach. They need to keep asking him the questions about that. That should not slide. Even if he come back to Gambia, they should ask him. Yeah. That is the situation about the captain. Yeah. But any other thing?
No, it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah. What do you make of that? What do you make of that? Because you're thinking a story. They're gonna rumors, right? You have heard the rumors. It's everywhere in the country.
Yes.
And this was before we went to the AFCON. People were saying, this player, like, we are taking this player, we know he could fail. So, and then he went and failed. So it's not like the information that people knew was wrong. The information was there, and the signs were there, but we still negligently ignore that, and then just go about with it.
Yeah, the thing is, because Gambians have to know, because let's say net ko that they gis list was that gis ko say lesbi, and then gis ko play, then questions will start coming up. So it's important that Gambians know. So what I decided how far is the situation, because I believe in Gambians have, because captain is an important player in the team. And then, when you don't have the opportunity to see him play, then they start the question. But you and I know, the things that happen. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think we covered everything for today. The GFF League, dama ko bàyyi because boobu noonu moom moo ko dee bëgg a laal, as far as space nekku fi rek moom moo di ñu mën a summarize everything. Xam nga moom moo dee mën a follow the update on the league. So it will be wrong for me to try to talk about the league when space not here. But Steny, do you have any final words to share before we go?
Yeah, just last they wish the boys their best of luck, because last game is very important. And the target is to get back to the World Cup after since 2009. So I believe they need to help a lot. And they've been with us. You say that, and let them keep supporting the network, was the very important job. We are here to give news and details. Concerning our football. So happy to be here as usual.
Yeah, definitely. Let's just look at this final comment from my brother Babu Munenaka. The journalists are not writing so as the stakeholders as well. The fans and all the football lovers, we all know that the people running our football are not really interested in moving forward. And with everyone coming on board, we can definitely change the narrative. If not, we are not playing home in the next 4 or 5 years. Yeah, definitely. Stadium be hamna, very stadium be. It's sad because this was the opportunity for them to because guy they were here, go Habib they were here, the guy Hoj government, guy Hoj minister be. This was the opportunity. Guy them Nula Cheko. Because he has to answer those questions. And then people are still crying for the AFCON report. Two AFCON reports. Nobody can go. What are the journalists doing about that? Well, I'm going to small waji. Believe me, help with report me. Journalists, they have to take up that and then keep pushing for those things. But man, do what journalists they like definitely journalists in a way. But like, I will never term myself as a journalist because that's not what I am here to do. But anyway, Sini, I think it was a nice one. Space new na. I'm got Faram Fachal na new be. Maneko GFF League B Player of the Month. So we have two winners. That is for the GFF League, you have Alaji Wali, and for the foreign-based players, we have Musa Baro. So congratulations to them once again. And like Sini say, then you're wishing Baby Scorpion select all the best. Despite we know nakala situation bi nekkal demee loolu yëpp neexuñu, but when it comes to su game bi jotee moom we Gambia bi noonu la mel, we all stand and then try to get the best result. Even su fekkee ne amuñ we get zero chance am sax, we always want to stand and get the best result for the country, because everybody is happy. But the important thing is like buñ dee focus too much on the results at the end of the day. Let's focus about the process. What are the processes we need to put in place to make sure we can have these results more regularly, more often, and in a more natural way. So don't let what they do focus. You buy the focus na I win nothing, and you do the celebrate. You never call it def. Gambia, yeah, find a good time under 17. You find out Westfield. We never. No, Gambia is a wonderful place, but we have to know the priorities and then the processes. Those things. More than if they bang, I'm a cool head. Cool have never think about these things. No. So but anyways, good luck to the boys tomorrow. And then journalists tamit pick up this story about the stadium. This is a big information about the stadium. We need to get to the root of it. Why did the Gambia government not use China for that? Since they had the opportunity right in front of their faces. And China have been doing a lot of things for the Gambia. Even the convention center, it's China who did it. So why? What was the point not going there again to ask? Especially after you have 200 million to spend. See, small continue feed, you must stop, man. I can't complain, because definitely pace. But anyways, thank you for coming. And when it comes space, thank you for joining us. Bini will be back next week, inshallah. And hopefully next time we come here, we are talking about World Cup like under 17 World Cup. So guys. If you are watching us, guys, Jeff for joining us, and thank you for the comments, thank you for the likes on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and all that. So, dig next week, inshallah. Seni, thank you very much.